We've told you before about bias response teams on college campuses and how they work to quash free speech. But how widespread is the problem? Fire Program Officer Adam Steinbaugh joins the show. He's got a new report out. So, Adam, you surveyed 232 public and private colleges. What did you find?
Well, I found a lot of bias response teams. And for those who are unfamiliar with the concept, bias response teams are a system in which a university tells students that they should report their fellow students or faculty members for virtually any disagreement or speech that they find offensive. And what I found was that often includes political speech. So one thing that we did is we looked at the makeup of bias response teams to see who is looking at these reports. About a third of them just do not tell students or the public who is looking at the reports. But of those that do disclose who's looking at them, about 42% of bias response teams include police or security officers. About 63% include student conduct administrators, and about 12% include media relations staff.
And Adam, do these colleges take taxpayer money as they're violating free speech?
Yes, the public ones definitely.
And are there any colleges in particular that you'd note?
Well, one thing that was interesting here is that it's not speech from one particular view or the other that is getting reported to bias response teams. It covers the ideological gamut. So we used public records requests, and we looked at the public reports of bias response teams, and we have some pretty curious examples. So at Ohio State University, for example, students were reported for sharing memes comparing Hillary Clinton to Hitler, which is impolite but political speech, and they were required to attend a mandatory hall meeting. On the other hand, at Appalachian State University, a student was offended that Donald Trump was called a racist in a chalk message, and they viewed this as unlawful slander.
Now, we've had Jillian Melcher from Heat Street, our sister publication, on this program before, and she said that some of these colleges who are quashing speech and other kinds of misbehavior, that they've suffered from a fall in donations. Could we see a similar trend here?
I think that you probably could, yes.
Well, Adam, what can be done? Donors can withhold money, but as a taxpayer, I'm offended by this kind of conduct. Is this something that, for instance, the new education secretary might take a look at, especially at public universities?
I don't think there are any particular regulations that the education secretary could use in this instance. I think that at the moment, the best response to this type of conduct is for people to contact universities, find out whether or not their university or alma mater has a bias response team and take a close look at it. And if they are acting in a way that offends principles of freedom of speech or expression or academic freedom, then contact them and say this is inappropriate for higher education. And
where do viewers go to read your report?
They can go to thefire.org, and it's available there.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. Adam Steinbaugh, thanks so much for joining.
Thank you.